Hello, thanks for being in a new video. During CES in Las Vegas, both LG and Samsung presented their own robots, and we were able to have a close-up to see the demonstration of more or less how they work. So let's do a little comparison. And you two tell me which one you like best. Let's get started. It should be remembered that none of these robots has been announced for sale, at least not at the moment. But anyway, as any fan of technology, we like this kind of developments and advances, so let's make this comparison. And I even think it could be useful for other brands to continue perfecting this kind of products. And in the future, we can really see robots in our homes. The first parameter I want to compare is the name. Samsung has named its robot Ballie. I think it is a very nice, friendly and positive name. I think it is completely superior to the name LG has used, which is called LG Smart Home AI Agent. Yes, I know it's a lousy name, but the name possibly doesn't matter that much unless they are actually going to release these devices for sale, because the name can influence marketing. And definitely of these two, the one that gets the most attention would be Samsung's. But now let's talk a little bit about the design. And in this sense, LG has surprised me a lot because its robot has a design not only bigger but more attractive, much more friendly, and it is supported only on 2 wheels. On the Samsung side, the robot has 2 wheels, but it has 3 points of support. So it's not so surprising that it can stand upright, so to speak. In addition, LG's robot has a gripper that at the same time is able to move to help with expressions. So LG's robot is much friendlier because it even has little eyes in the shape of a screen that help it make facial expressions in a way. As I tell you, in conjunction with the gripper, it's able to move. In addition, it can tilt a little bit, and I insist, the most attractive thing about all this is that it manages to maintain its balance simply with 2 wheels. With these 2 wheels, it can be moved around the house. And honestly, I find the design much more attractive. Samsung's Ballie is a sphere that doesn't look as attractive, it doesn't look as friendly, but in its favor, it has a projector, which we'll talk more about that later. But in terms of design, obviously, it's also considered because it's able to project onto a wall or even onto the ceiling or onto the floor. So I think that point is in Samsung's favor. But in everything else, in terms of design, I like the LG robot much better. Now let's talk about the functionality of these robots. In both cases, both LG and Samsung have said that these robots would be able to engage you in a conversation to request information very similar to what we see today with voice assistants like Alexa or Google. So, if they were to ever go on sale, they would have to be put to the test to see who is more knowledgeable or who is better able to understand what you are telling them. But for the time being, as they are simply concepts, let's leave it with that they are tied in that regard. Also, both Samsung and LG point out that these robots would have the ability to keep an eye on your home, in the sense that they could be patrolling and realize that you left a window open or left some lights on and take action on that. For example, turning off the light. If you can close the window because it's an automated window, it probably will. If not, it's going to send you an alert for sure. In fact, both could also alert you if your pet made a mess, send you a picture or send you a video, because in both cases they have cameras. So in this they coincide, in being robots that will assist you at home. However, the fact that Samsung has a projector helps the robot to gain more capabilities to show you information. And not only to show you information, which is already very advantageous, but it could also help you to project a video, a movie, or in the case of Samsung's official videos, they focus a lot on exercise because it could change the position of the projection so that depending on whether you are standing or lying down, you can perfectly follow the example of your exercise. So I think Samsung has very well landed the idea of the projector and how it could take advantage of it in a robot. In fact, in Samsung's demos, they also highlighted that it could make a call, it could probably make video calls as well. So the projector gives it a lot of possibilities. Hopefully LG will consider adding a projector to their next version of this little robot, and hopefully they will also consider giving it a nicer name. But on LG's side, they have highlighted that their robot would be able to detect your emotions. although that is much more complex, but they claim that through an analysis of your voice, it could determine if you are sad or a little upset, tired, or something like that. In their examples, they put a case of how someone might in the morning or on the way home from work ask the robot to turn on the light or something like that, and the robot is going to say, I notice you're tired, I notice you're overheated, or something like that, and based on your emotional state, it can somehow try to help. Although in this case, I think it would still be very limited by the technologies that exist today. But in the example, they say, let me adjust the air conditioning to make it a little bit warmer to help you. Or if it detected that you came home from work already tired because it was too hot, it would probably say, let me adjust the air to make you feel cooler or something similar. The idea seems very good to me, but it also seems extremely complex that a robot can identify the emotions of a human and especially take actions to help him. And of course, there are many other parameters that for the moment have not been detailed, because I repeat that these are not products that are already going to go on sale. For example, we still need to know how long the battery life of these devices will last. We would also have to see how their charging mechanism is going to be, if they are going to go to a wireless charging base or a pin charging base, if they are going to have fast charging and similar things. There's still a lot to be seen on that, but it's likely that Samsung's projector will consume too much battery, and these types of robots will still have that complication. And obviously what we all want is for an announcement on what price these products would be more or less, but being a completely new category, neither manufacturer has yet been encouraged to release this product for sale. Although honestly, from my point of view, Samsung seems to have this product more ready to sell, because at least in their demo videos and similar things, you see small letters where it says that a Samsung account is required to activate this feature and other things. On LG's side, I think it is still a concept, but only they know if they are going to launch these products for sale someday or they are just demos. In case you didn't remember, I remind you that this is the second generation of Ballie that has gained the projector and gained a different design. Let's see if in the third generation there are improvements, or if it goes on sale before reaching that third generation. We do not know yet, and surely if it is the year of the second generation, we will be able to know more details. In the meantime, I hope you liked this video. If so, you know you can let us know, and we'll see you next time.